gathering of some folks to talk about maybe some ideas moving forward.
Yeah, thanks, Ray, and good morning. Good morning, Ray. Good morning, everybody. So, for the last few years, there's been this idea that, look, we've got a lot of great things going on with downtown. We've got Lock 3, we've got, the new updated Main Street. It took a while, and it took longer than anyone would like, but we've got that there. We're dealing with the challenges that downtowns across America are facing, post-COVID. And so, we need more capacity day-to-day, people who are waking up thinking about how are we moving forward, some of these big downtown projects that we talk about, whether it's new residential apartments, whether it's marketing space for businesses and offices, whether it's trying to get new restaurants or new hospitality and, focus on the arts and entertainment, all those things. And all the different stakeholders that are downtown, the city, the county, the Downtown Akron Partnership, the Development Finance Authority, all these entities, we all kind of do the best with what we can. But I think there's a consensus that there needs to be, kind of an entity that's really focused on moving these projects forward, solely focused on that. And so over the past year, we've been working with a lot of different partners, nonprofit, corporate, other government partners to say, how do we, fund an executive director for a few years who will really focus on this. And so it's not going to be a big organization to start. It'll be small, and it'll basically be, let's see what the next few years do, and then what can we do to kind of support this person, but have this person be kind of the glue in trying to move some of the big downtown projects forward. So we're going to share more about that later today, but really excited to kind of get that up and running.
Yeah, that is exciting. And, you get one person concentrating on that and things move forward in an organized manner. One thing that's kind of exciting, too, it came down yesterday, and I don't know how much you can expand on it, but Representative Amelia Sykes with that $10 million for federal funding for the Akron Innerbelt project. You talk about downtown, that Innerbelt infrastructure problem, or I should say project, has been out there for quite some time. I saw this come down, and that was exciting to me to see.
This is huge. So it was kind of funny timing. We had about 200 people yesterday at the Ed Davis Community Center to have the first of kind of 4 workshops where we're going to talk about what should be the future of the Innerbelt with this planning firm that we're working with. So, this was a $1 million planning grant that was received from the Federal Department of Transportation. And when you apply for a planning grant, the hope is that the second step will be applying for an implementation or really construction grant. And so we applied for a $10 million grant in September, and I think it'll be officially announced today, but Congresswoman Sykes did share with us last night that we are receiving that grant, and it's a one-to-one match with the city, so the total investment will be $20 million. And $20 million is not going to, fill in the entire Innerbelt, but it will be a start. And it is really cool waking up this morning knowing that really for the first time in a long time, there is cold, hard money that is locked in and devoted to seeing visible changes on the Innerbelt, right? I don't think I've seen, that area change much my entire life. And so for the first time, we can be sure, planning and discussing is really important. It's, we got to be really thoughtful about what we do there, but, for the first time, we can be sure that there's going to be action and there's money to pay for it.
Mayor, one thing that I liked that I saw, too, in Amelia's release that came out last night pertaining to those dollars, And no matter how it gets done, I think we'll get that goal, right? Because anything is better than what we have. But she said using the inner belt again to tie in the communities. And I love that part of that release because, as we know, the inner belt was never actually finished, and it kind of divided those neighborhoods down there. No matter what happens with this inner belt, I'm sure it will bring some of those folks back together.
Absolutely. And, like, we don't want to develop the inner belt just because it's there, just because it's open space and that, we need to fill it in. We want to use that space in a way that benefits our community and benefits the neighborhood that's right next to it, which was the black neighborhood that was harmed by the creation of the inner belt. And so what better way to, say, this neighborhood was overlooked and the impact on this neighborhood was overlooked when this highway was constructed. Okay, that's part of our history. We've got to honor that and recognize that and reckon with that. But now let's be as intentional as possible in making sure that whatever goes there on the inner belt as there's development, that economically benefits the neighborhood and downtown and the entire community, right? So I think it's going to be exciting to see. And it was really, there was this palpable energy at Davis Community Center last night, 200 people, lots of good ideas. Folks want to see, grocery or even potentially farming. They want to see a pharmacy. They want to see, healthcare. There are all kinds of things, but those were just a couple of the things that I saw on little sticky notes.
Yeah, and when I saw that last night, I had the excitement too. I think you mentioned that a couple of moments ago. Just the idea of these dollars coming in and knowing that there's going to be movement down there. It's exciting in general, and who knows what that will be. With us is Akron Mayor Shammas Malik here on WAKR. Mayor, the other thing, you spent a lot of time. You delivered some ideas right away on Monday pertaining to this $368 million capital budget proposal for 2025. Maybe talking about a methodology that you used and others in putting this capital budget together.
Yeah, so, this is kind of one half of our budget every year is, the infrastructure investments that we make, whether it's parks and rec or our streets and bridges and sidewalks or, housing and the economy. So there are lots of different things we can focus on. And every year our departments put together a list of their projects, and then we really have to look at what we can do financially. So, fiscal responsibility was kind of the pillar of this. I think the total projects that we received, they amounted to, I think, $46 million in kind of general fund debt that we would have to allocate. We felt comfortable going up to $12 million. So, you see that gap, you have to really pick your priorities and really, be thoughtful about here's what we can do and here's what we can't. But there's a couple big things that we're really excited about. We're going to be finishing up some community centers. So the new Patterson Park Community Center on North Hill, renovations to Reservoir Park and to the pool there. And then also we allocated money to have 4 kind of gaming esports rooms in community centers across the community, probably in the, some of these buildings that have not been renovated, because we know that we keep hearing that we need, exciting, safe spaces for young people. So that's one piece in the Parks and Rec. Another piece is demolition. We got a lot of sites, particularly industrial sites, that have kind of been blighting our neighborhoods for a long time. So we got state funding, and then we're able to put some local funding in too. And so that will help us to demolish a couple of large structures. The old Firestone plant, number 1, down there on South Main, we are working at preserving part of the facade to the extent that we can, but this whole area behind it that we're going to be able to take down. And then Rankin Elementary School, which is over on the west side, Goodrich Middle School over on the east side, and then hopefully the Morley Health Center building downtown, all of which have just been kind of sitting blighted. I was over at Rankin, and you could walk in. There's shattered windows and shattered glass all around. So that's another big thing. Our match for the polymer industry support, which our local piece helps to support the $100 million investment from federal, state, and local entities. So really excited about that. And then a lot of other investments in our public facilities, across the board, and housing. So we're really excited about what we see in this capital budget. We shared half of it with City Council this week. We'll be sharing more next week. And we actually did something unusual this year and this past year, and went to every ward and presented just in the abstract about this, and then got people's feedback and got people's ideas and said, we have all these buckets. Where would you spend if you had 8 dots? Where would you spend your dots? And so we got a lot of feedback, and we've put that into the budget document and shown people kind of where the priorities were. Housing and community services and demolition really came up as a big thing.
Mayor Shammas Malik is with us. Mayor, we were talking, and we mentioned the $368 and all that stuff, and people hear those large numbers. But I thought what was encouraging, at least what I read from your release pertaining to the capital budget, about the 75% of that planned investments are funded by various state and federal sources, 23% of that local. And that's a job well done by the city of getting those other dollars coming in for that budget.
Yeah, and that's, if you go through the budget document, which is, you can find it on our social media pages and on our website, almost every line item has has a bunch of different funding sources. And, where I mentioned that we call it general operating debt, which is kind of money that we borrow where we can't pay for things, using state or federal money or income tax money. We want to keep that to an absolute minimum. And so in most cases, we're able to kind of cobble together funding from a lot of different sources. But we really want to make sure that we're leveraging our dollars. So if we're spending $1 of our money or $1 of debt, we want to make sure that, we're getting state or federal, contributions into that. So that's kind of the sausage making, but our planning team really does a good job, and our service and the engineering team does a good job. And really, sometimes it takes pushing some of these projects out a couple years so that you can apply for funding and that kind of thing. But we really want to. This is the second straight year that we've gotten that debt number to under $12 million. And I'm not saying that's good, but that's the lowest number I think in 7 years. So we're trying to make sure that as we come off of ARPA, we are being as fiscally responsible as we can, while also making investments that we need.
Mayor, one final question for you, and this came in from one of our listeners who listens to us each and every Thursday at this time, Linda, and she sent me in a text question last night. She said, Ray, I know you're having the mayor on tomorrow morning. I enjoyed the conversations, and I have to say I've enjoyed the new Lock 3. We went down over the holidays, enjoyed the ice rink and such. Simple question, if you can ask the mayor, how long will the rink stay up for us to enjoy the winter season? Mayor, I'm not sure if you know the answer, but I just thought I'd throw that out there to you. Do you know what the date is and it'll come down?
Let me get the answer, and next Thursday we'll let you and Linda know on the air here next Thursday.
All right.
But thank you, Linda, for the kind words about Lock 3. It's really beautiful to see it.
Yeah, it really is. It looks great. Job well done by everybody involved there. Mayor, as always, my friend, thanks for taking time to join us on a busy Thursday morning. I know you have a real busy day going on today with the development delivery. So thanks again, and we'll reconnect next week.
All right, take care.
All right,
Bye.
There you go. Akron